Oh my gosh, you guys, did you hear? There was a huge explosion at the cheese factory in France. They said all that's left is debris. I'm just kidding. It's Cheese Friday, and today we'll be doing cottage cheese. Hey everyone, welcome back to Cheese Friday. We're back and we are today doing a different cheese. Instead of our blocks that we've been talking about, I thought we would go with a cottage cheese. Uh, this one is the Good Culture brand and it is the whole fat. Cottage cheese is a cheese curd. It's a fresh cheese, which means it hasn't had any aging or ripening. It is what makes a cottage cheese special and actually acceptable on a ketogenic diet if you eat dairy is that about 70% of its content is made up of protein and only 3% of it is carbohydrates. Now, you do have to pay attention, just like with anything else, because a serving is only half a cup, which is, 110 grams. So, it's not a huge quantity. You're not going to sit down and eat this whole tub. This tub is 4 servings, I think. Double check that. Yeah, this little tub is 4 servings. So you have to really be mindful about that. However, some good things to know about the cottage cheese is that it is helpful for reducing your risk with insulin resistance, which is something that a lot of people who follow a ketogenic diet are very invested in. It's really high in calcium. Again, another nutrient that we often struggle with following a ketogenic diet. So those are a couple really good things about it. You should know also why I choose the Good Culture brand. It's newer to the market, but they're awesome because they don't add any casein. They don't add any carrageenan to it, which is an additive you'll find in an awful lot of cottage cheeses. For a lot of people, carrageenan can be inflammatory, which is why a lot of influencers and stuff will remind you to pay attention to the ingredients on your heavy whipped cream. And they also don't add like any extra gums to it. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because we eat xanthan gum and acacia gum and tarra gum and all kinds of gums in our ketogenic journey. But if you don't need it to make the food great, why would you add something extra? So those are some good things. And the Good Culture brand also is called Good Culture because they add live cultures to their foods, which is great. Now, the other thing, let's see, cottage cheese, it is, I think I said that, it's cow's milk, which, based on my previous Cheese Friday videos, might surprise you because I've mentioned that when cheeses are super white, they're usually goat milk. But in this case, it's super white, but it's still cow's milk. And the reason that is because it doesn't have any aging or ripening. Cottage cheese is made by adding acid to warm milk. So it's an easy cheese to make at home yourself if you really want to. Once you add in the warm milk, it'll curdle. And then as you continue to cook it, it'll come together and you cut it up. And that's what makes your little curds. And then it gets washed and packaged in with a little bit of the whey turned back in. So this is what a half a cup looks like. And let me see if we can. I so don't want to drop cottage cheese on any of my electronics. Let's get it up here. So there you can see your curds. These would be a small curd. You can buy cottage cheese in multiple sizes of curds. The size of the curd is not a statement of quality on the cottage cheese. It's preference based on how much it was cut up. So no worries there. Curd size doesn't matter unless you have a personal preference. So that is basically it for the cottage cheese. Uh, it's great for cooking. You can whip it, which would give it that high volume, fluffier texture and makes it something interchangeably substitutable for ricotta. It doesn't have the same flavor profile. It's not quite as sweet, although it is sweet in comparison to a lot of other cheeses. It's great if you just whip it up and you want to take it with a sweet profile with a little splash of vanilla and a sweetener. But where it really shines is if you take it in a savory route and you mix it with some seasonings or some fresh herbs, have it with a chaffle. It's a really good snacking cheese. We'll tell you because it's mostly proteins. It's great for a good side dish with your meals because it will help with the recovery of your muscles and getting some of the lactic out of those. Also, the higher proteins will help with muscle building while you're strength training. All of that other good stuff. So uh, that's it for the cottage cheese. I'll go ahead and taste it for you. I think a lot of people know what cottage cheese tastes like. It's very mild. It's not tart. There's really hardly any smell. It's just a very, very light little waft of maybe a little bit of tanginess, which of course, that's from the acid curdling the milk. But it's not a bad smell. It's pleasant. It doesn't have a nutty smell. Honestly, it's just it's a very relaxed sort of scent. So it's just kind of refreshing, and you just get like a teensy bit of that acidity at the end. So again, there you go. Happy Cheese Friday. See you all on Sunday, where this week for Coffee Talk, instead of coffee, we're going to have an herbal infusion. I look forward to seeing everybody, and let me know if you have a cheese request, or if you have a special recipe you want to see, or if you just want to shoot the breeze, talk about some of the things some of the other groups are doing for the month of April. You just let me know, and I am glad to talk about it if I can, and if not, give you resources to find out or other people who might have that information. So enjoy. I'll see you all soon. Talk to you later. Bye bye.